my take on a You Are Cristiano video. Him talking about why he cried 2024. I'm filming this Wednesday, 11 September 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And I'm going to provide my take on a video published on YouTube channel You Are Cristiano. Cristiano, with a man named Cristiano talking about why he cried earlier in the 2024 year, video linked below. I contextualize the video in terms of whether I think I would cry at a championships level performance in the future. I have not in the past. Yes, so we're going to start with the dissection of the video. I'll put a link to the video in the video description. It was published on Sunday, 1 September 2024. And there we go. And he goes through and he's talking with another individual. Here we go. I think it's the name. Don't quote me on that. Okay. I'm a fresh bee instead of a newbie. I'm a fresh bee. Okay. And so he elaborates why he cried at this particular 2024 European Championships earlier in this 2024 year. And so he says he puts pressure on himself. And I would guess, well, that may be true. It may not be the reason he cries. Slight distinction from the following. So he kind of delves into pressures from himself, but like, I'm not going to use the words he used. Those are his words. So what I came up with in kind of trying to describe it is not living up to his mental construct of how he should perform based on his inferred expectations of him by/from others. So essentially, how I would interpret what he was saying is essentially he comes into a game and he has a certain mental construct. So he's thinking in his brain about how he should perform based on kind of who's in the crowd and what they are expect of him. However, he doesn't speak to them all, so he doesn't know what's their actual expectation. So it's an inferred expectation from those spectators. And so it sounds like the trigger for him crying is kind of a mismatch. When there's a mismatch between what his mental construct is and kind of what's expected and how he should perform, and then how he does perform. When there's a mismatch there, he cries. Okay, so it's like an extrasensory perception of people interpreting his actions instead of barometry. So he can say he's like a pressure gauge all he wants, and like he cries because he let people down or he let himself down or something, but I don't really think that's the reason. Have I watched how many thousand of matches has he been in? Like 1,000 matches? I don't know. He's been around a long time. He's older than me. And he's still active, which is good. Keep going. And don't stop. You know, I hear, if you're watching this, Cristiano, Nobel Prize in Physiology for being so good looking. 2024 is that going to come to be? I think they start announcing those on like in a month, 11 October 2024, something like that. It's the anatomy of Cristiano. It gets a Nobel Prize in physiology. It would be something. Yeah. Okay. And was there anything else there? Oh, would I cry? So that's an interesting one because I have 12 seasons of competition experience in swimming, 9 in soccer, and I compete in track and field, and not once did I cry for a result. And that doesn't mean I didn't get emotional. Right? It doesn't mean I wasn't frustrated or I wasn't happy. But crying, there were people I knew who cried, and I just didn't ever really understand why they cried. So I do appreciate, Cristiano, if you're watching this, you putting that video out, because that's something that I have not done, and it's not necessarily something I've understood. And so, and that has included for me at the championships level. So I have not cried. Maybe the presence of a certain type of crowd. All right, like if I were to compete in the future, let's say in running at a high level, I don't necessarily think that would change. I think I've been my own coach long enough that I have so much to think about in terms of logistics that, like, even if I ran a really great time or stuff. Possibly not, or had a subpar performance. I don't think I would cry, just because I still have to get off the track. Right? Like the event, like the competition continues on, so to speak. Doesn't stop for me. I guess one case where I might would be if I got an injury. I've said that before. I do cry when I get injured. So like if that happened, well then I might cry if I got hurt. So there's one case. I do cry though, but I'm just like, I don't know if like me running a certain time would elicit the same tear duct reaction as like the Pixar movie Coco. Okay, those are kind of like, for my personal experience, those are kind of like two different things. But yeah, so that's my take on a You Are Cristiano video, him talking about why he cried 2024.